Hey everyone, Grey's Anime here, and welcome back to a discussion video where we tackle a really quite interesting question that has been popping up all over my feeds and recommended recently. If Zeno Zoldyck decided to help Isaac Netero during the Chimera Ant arc, could both of them have taken down Meruem, the king of the Chimera Ants that is undoubtedly the strongest character in the Hunter x Hunter anime so far? Well, this question certainly asked us a lot about the partnership of the two older generation hunters and assassins who held incredible powers far beyond most people's reach, and their complicated past highlighted by Zeno's backstory, recount of Isaac Netero and his relationship to God and divinity. In the anime, it was commonly known that Isaac Netero posed no threat to Meruem and that he was fighting pointlessly to try and stop destruction from taking over the Hunter x Hunter world. It was even openly stated that the king's nen pressure and abilities far multiplied that of Netero's, even though Netero was stated to be one of the top 5 nen users in the world. This kind of power is so extreme that it is hard to imagine Netero being shot down that easily. But this just goes to show the power of the pinnacle of evolution, the strongest species in the Hunter x Hunter world, filled with magical beasts. In the scenes leading up to the Netero and Meruem fight, to answer this question, we first have to go back to the entrance of none other than the two war veterans, Zeno Zoldyck performing his best attack, the Dragon Dive, whereas Netero coming in hot, batting aside Neferpitou and making their presence felt. From the start, it was no doubt that these two contained considerable power, and for a minute it looked as if the two together would exterminate the Chimera Ants. However, fast forward to the end of the Dragon Drive, and Netero and Zeno are in one of the palace rooms waiting patiently for Meruem to finish caring for Komugi. They did not attack, and I did feel as if the two could have ended Meruem right there, with Neferpitou as a mild disturbance. However, the two of them waited, and finally Zeno performed his Dragon Dive to take Meruem and Netero away to a different location, choosing to avoid harm following anyone who would enter in the crossfire. But to my shock, Zeno Zoldyck did not join Netero and instead stated, "I know nothing beyond what I was hired for," or something to that effect. This statement made it clear that Zeno did not wish to participate in this skirmish any longer, for he is an assassin. And an assassin, especially with the Zoldyck's thought process, is to get the money they were hired for and escape as quickly as they could. Following Zeno's departure, he met Killua briefly and held back some words he had been meaning to say, later escaping the lands with his son Silva Zoldyck atop a magical beast. These events constantly teased a Zeno and Netero combo, even when the backstory of the two had overlapped in some way. Zeno stated that they were almost equals, with Netero apparently getting the upper hand all the time. However, there's no questioning that they are in the absolute same league as each other. The only way to really figure this question out is to power scale Meruem first, because obviously he sets the bar both of these oldies have to reach in order to somehow potentially defeat the Chimera Ant king. If we start Meruem at a power level of 3 million, and I don't know, I just picked a number that would best represent him, we'll have to settle the bar that high. Now, Meruem was able to defeat Netero without any complications, making the battle pretty easy for the king, although he was dealt some damage by Netero's best attack that I don't even want to attempt to pronounce. Therefore, Netero will probably be around a 1.5 million in terms of power, and this is consistent with the common fact in Hunter x Hunter that full prime Netero could probably give Meruem a good fight. This was because in the anime, Netero was stated to have decreased in power twice, so prime Netero is twice as strong. Double 1.5 mil and you get 3 million, Meruem's level. Next up is power scaling Zeno Zoldyck, who's also a ton of trouble when it comes to fighting. I want to say that since Zeno himself admitted that Netero was stronger than him, Zeno is a little bit less powerful than him. Once the narrator of Hunter x Hunter asked the question to Zeno, he was almost waving away that idea without a second thought, and there are not many people who Zeno holds a high regard to, them being Silva Zoldyck, his own son, Crollo, and Netero. So I would scale Zeno to be around a 1 million in terms of power level, and together the duo added up makes 2.5 million, though not quite close to Meruem, who sits at a calm 500,000 higher. But as stated in Hunter x Hunter, a nin user is only as strong as their ability to use it, and when the both of these genius war veterans are combined, their skill and chemistry will certainly push them over the top. This is because chimera ants, though they are experts at nen, still have struggles when thinking high IQ, as shown in Morel versus the lion or Chitu versus Silva. Meruem is very smart, however would still struggle when battling the two old and experienced men at once, so we will have to factor in for the chemistry and smarts part, which will give Zeno and Netero an extra 500,000 or higher to their advantage. Then the only thing that's left is to make sure the two of them finish the battle wisely and intelligently so they don't risk anything. And there, my friends, is my final verdict on could Netero and Zeno actually beat Meruem. This would actually make tons of sense because two different minds can operate very differently in the exact same battle. Making use of this fact would give the both of them an upper hand against the king of the chimera ants. And there you have it, and that's my final answer to this important question we had in store for us. If you like this video and want more discussions, feel free to junk and rock that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.